episode of our show. Money Means Business, and as we always say, business means money. Stability and business mean a lot of money, and laws also are in that. We're talking about the different developments taking place on the local scene, how they are just related internationally, what's going on nowadays, economically speaking, and of course, politically, all interrelated and socially. We do have with us Dr. Mustafa Nagari, agricultural expert, Export Council, member of the board and treasurer. Thank you, sir, for being with us.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And we also have Dr. Mustafa Sheikh, economic analyst. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And businessman, of course. You know.
It is my pleasure. Thank you.
We're going for a short break, after which we'll be back again and starting our discussion. Stay tuned to us. Don't go away.
Egypt has uniquely undergone two revolutions in less than 3 years for better living and the rule of democracy. Egypt remains, after all, as an attractive investment destination despite the difficulties it faced. Ahead of the 2011 revolution, the Egyptian economy was performing well, as confirmed by all KPIs.
Very confident about the Egyptian market. The main factors or the main pillars of the Egyptian economy are still here, and they're not going anywhere.
Egypt is a good place to invest, first of all, because it's a big market. It's a big local market. It's a good geographical location. You have good people, and the costs are competitive. So it's a great place. It was, it is, and it will be a great place to invest.
Again, to Money Means Business. I'm Nermin Nazim, and in an unprecedented historic move, the Central Bank of Egypt decided to liberalize the pound and raise interest rates on lending and deposits for one night by 300 basis points to reach 14.75% and 15.75% respectively. At a press conference, Central Bank Governor Tariq Ayan said that there was no going back, but that the central bank would intervene to control the prices, stressing that the move was a turning point for Egypt's economy and that the country was exerting efforts to improve the economy through a number of decisions made recently. Prime Minister Sharif Ismail described the latest decisions taken by the government concerning liberalizing the pound and raising the fuel prices, supply prices as important, serious, and unprecedented, adding that these decisions pour into the benefit of the Egyptian economy. The Prime Minister told a press conference held at the cabinet premises on Friday that the critical stage Egypt was passing through prompted facing problems through serious decisions and carrying out an economic reform program. Ismail said that lifting billion allocated for the citizens' needs, noting that this amount is insufficient and requires decisions to move forward. The Prime Minister reiterated that in addition to the latest bundle of decisions, the government are also taking decisions for the benefit of the citizens and investors. Meanwhile, as part of a rapid comprehensive reform program and in order to put an end to parallel market, the Central Bank of Egypt decided to liberalize the pound again. And we've got with us again Dr. Mustafa Sheikh, businessman and economic analyst. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Dr. Mustafa Nagari, Agriculture to Export Council member and treasurer, member of the board and treasurer. Thank you again for being with us. You honored us with your presence. And the story, well, there are lots of stories actually to talk about. I don't know what to start with. The decisions taken, what would they lead to? Are they positive or negative? There is disgruntlement among many people. Some people are just uploading it, others are not. They're just scared of what will come, what should they expect of hardships, how long are we going to go in that, a lot of this. So starting, how do you see the steps taken and decisions taken by the government, especially at this moment, at this time?
Well, I think that the society or the business people and the investors and the industrial society were all waiting for this step to come further because we believe that for the last 5 years we have been, just moving and working in very disturbing environment for our economy and for our investments. And we have seen that the Egyptian currency are losing a lot since the last 5 years. I still remember 24th of January 2011, the official rate was 5.24, which if you can see what is happening on that, the Egyptian currency have lost 300% of its value, which is unbelievable rate for our currency and our economy.
Yes.
So at least we feel that we have to stop and try to see ourselves in a very clear mirror. And this mirror is really what is the real value of the Egyptian currency. And but let me just come 2 days before this decree that there was the resolution package of the Supreme Investment Council, which it's headed by the President al-Sisi, but I think that the steps have been taken was very positive. We believe that it is not the end, it is just the start, and we still are waiting for more packages to come, but at least it was as a preparation for the degree of preparation of the funds. So we are just coming to a step which we have to see the stability point of the rate, because I think that it is not,
It's a shock to
it
the
is
market.
the start, but yeah, I think it will be, we will be needing some time to stabilize the rate and to see from where we start.
Would there be, would we have a rate, a fixed rate of exchange?
No fixed rate. I mean, in the liberation of it depends about demand and supply, and this is the normal rule which can control our economy at the time being. But even the global funds which are looking forward for our market, because Egypt is considered one of the big markets nowadays, everybody is just waiting for this point, where to stabilize so he can start.
How do you see it, sir?
A siege on the informal
Do you think with this, measure taken, would encourage the foreign direct investment to Egypt? Then you said other measures should be taken.
Exports are around bringing foreign investors, bringing foreign investment and increasing the exports, total exports of Egypt. And this must also be accomplished together with economic plan to increase industries, which is related to exports.
Yeah.
Okay, if we succeed to increase exports, besides increase the foreign investments coming to Egypt, I think in a very short time there will be a big difference in our economy. There will be a stability in the US dollar and foreign currencies in front of Egyptian pounds. And I think the government is now moving in the right track. This is very simple about the situation right now. But in addition to what is being taken right now, there must be also some social development to be taken at the same time to avoid the increase in prices in the markets. There must
but
be.
suddenly not everybody is increasing even.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
It's just
This
like
is a
they're not
problem.
waiting overnight.
This is the problem.
Increase.
The only problem we are facing right now is increasing the prices in the markets. We have to explain to people that this is a temporary, and this is a temporary situation.
But then, it seems that we have this problem of transparency somehow. The government, they just came out to say this, but before they were not step by step explain what's happening. What kind of impediments do we have? What kind of results? What should they expect, and how long, more or less, would that take? Because people are scared of subsidies. And the subsidies go always to the people who need them. Also talking about scrapping 1 million person from the subsidies. Scared so many.
Yes. There are some other ways the government must take, and they've already taken some of them.
There must be.
But then this will be, like they'll pay more.
It is not. It is not the inflation and it
really it's not the job of the government, it is maybe the job of the whole society. Because really it will be a difficult time, it will be shrinking period for the Egyptians, but I think that as fast as coming to the stability of the currency, this will help a lot investments to improve and to try to stimulate.
Yes.
So I believe that Egyptians are understandable about these hard days, and I feel that everybody is really positive about trying to move furthermore. The steps which have been taken by the Supreme Investment Council is really good, and it's really attractive, and it is touching, you know, several areas in industry and in exports.
Agriculture as well.
Yes, as well, and for the agriculture sector, they are helping to reduce also imports of agriculture. We have been talking a lot about that Egypt will join during just a few weeks an agreement for which is called the UPOF. It's all for the owner rights of the seeds, which is very important for Egypt, to try to increase the productivity of the acres in Egypt, and also it would work a lot about saving some of the commodities which we usually import, like the faba beans, like the lentil, which I mean now it's out of discussion to import for the poor people. You cannot import lentils with $1,200, while you can at
but
the
that was
end
the food,
lead.
lentils, fava beans was the food of the poor. Right now, what can they eat?
Yes, that's why that you should attract the agri investors to come and plant this, and that's why these resolution packages have touched these areas, really, to try to attract them to plant and to try not to import, which will close the gap between demand and supply of the dollar.
Which is very important, yes, definitely. Again, you know, going to the dollar and the exports, you know, we were just talking about that. You know, what happened in the last period when the dollar was not in the market, and right now, you know, when they're just, you know, kind of limiting the different types of exported stuff to Egypt. Some people depend on that.
The imported stuff to Egypt, you mean? The relationship between export and import is very little bit complicated, okay? Because there are some imports are very essential for industry, and these industries are related to export. We are importing raw materials, for example. We are importing spare parts for machinery. We are importing, some raw materials for packing as well, in order to make some special items, products for exports. What we are trying to say now is during the last 3-4 years, there was some problems in exports. Eliminated the total value of exports of the Egyptian products, which affected the foreign currencies very strongly. And what we are trying to do is to increase the exports as 5 or 6 years ago. The exports must be sustained, must be protected in order to bringing more foreign currencies to Egypt. For imports of raw materials, I think the government has taken some actions to reduce customs on imported goods in order to reduce the cost of manufacturing of products which will be exported, in order to make also a kind of competition for the Egyptian products in the international market.
Of course.
After reducing the Egyptian pounds in front of foreign currencies, this will give us a very good chance to increase our exports. But we have to concentrate on exports of the products which has big amount of local raw materials. Like we have to, for example, export like marble, like silica sand, raw materials like phosphate, manganese, which we all have in our land. But instead of exporting the raw materials, there are also some good ideas to encourage investors to make factories producing, use these raw materials and produce, for example, phosphoric acid, some chemicals from the raw materials which we have, like phosphate. We can produce phosphoric acid. Phosphate, the price per ton is $200-300, but phosphoric acid is $2,000-3,000 US.
Yes.
Of course, if we succeed to encourage investors to come to Egypt and build factories for phosphoric acid, for example, for silica from the sand which we have, for glass, for for other raw materials coming from manganese oxide, magnesium oxide. All this will increase, of course, the value of our raw material, and in a very short future, it will increase the income of foreign currencies to Egypt.
Yes. We have with us on line Engineer Ali Aissa, head of the Egyptian Businessmen Association. Hello, sir. Engineer Ali Aissa, hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, would you please clarify to us how do you see the latest decisions taken by the government and the central bank, economically speaking, of course?
For sure, these decisions are in the right way to make the reform which Egypt economy needs it very much. The central bank took the decision of a complete floating and free trade for the currency in Egypt, which is the first time since almost 60 years that a complete floating had been decided to be the way to deal in hard currency, because before that, even when floating happened at 2003, it was a controlled floating by the Central Bank of Egypt. Now it is completely free, which will give the real value of our currency, which by any means is not so bad. Even our pound had been weak.
Yes.
Because this will enforce new forces to produce more products in Egypt, and it will encourage investors to come and invest in Egypt, because Egypt will be a cheap market to invest in.
Yes.
And it will make a good export from Egypt. Secondly, the petrol subsidy, to cut the petrol subsidy is very important.
Yes.
Because, in my opinion, any product has a very low price, will make bigger consumption.
Yes.
And will lead to corruption. Now we are in the right way to cut the subsidies on the fuel for maybe in 2-3 years to cut it all, and to give cash subsidies to the poor people who deserve subsidies.
Yes.
This is the whole idea. I think we are in the right track anyway.
Is there a definition of poor?
This is a social matter, And I think the government have a good definition, and the definition is there, but how to know it? This is the idea. There is a way to have the intelligence cards, which related to the identity card for each Egyptian, and this is delayed so much in Egypt since 5-6 years we are talking about this,
Yes.
but no big effort to produce this. But anyway, if we agreed about the way, then we'll find the means how to do it.
Yes. Engineer Ali Issa, head of the Egyptian Businessmen Association, thank you very much for being with us. Dr. Mustafa Nagari, what do you think of that? And we have, like, the SMEs are very important. Where do they fit in all that?
I think that if we define all the business society and the business investors are
SMEs.
all SMEs. Okay, so let me tell you that all the programs which are taking for the export support programs are covering these ideas. Central bank have been trying to promote for some supporting finance law rates for especially for the industrial and the agriculture sectors, and I believe that the government and also the investors, they all believe that the SMEs are the main basic to start with, because most of even the European economy is just relying on the SMEs. It's not the megas. There is no, the mega are now, it's very risk to just point for a mega company. There's just a few of them all over the world, and we can see all the crisis, the economic crisis all over the world. So they are all vanishing. Now everybody is joining, merging. This is the idea of how to try to share the risk, not to share the profit. The market is, of course. But just let me point that tomorrow is the start of the banking days in Egypt.
Yes.
And we maybe will see the obligations which will be giving from the central bank to all the Egyptian banks, how to control the transaction in dollar. Because we have seen that prior to the liberation there was some steps taken about obligating banks not to accept any anonymous resources of dollars. It should be coming through an official way, either selling or either that importer have to prove the source of the dollar. And this, it's a try to move the transaction and the movement in transferring dollars into the bank, not outside the bank. So we will see during, the coming week. I can tell that November 2016 is really a very busy month.
Turning point. It's a turning point.
It's a turning point for Egypt. So starting from day one, which we have seen all these resolution packages, until maybe the end, we'll see how the market will try to react with all these measures. My belief is that for exports, we have seen that maybe we had before a strategy starting at 2008. There was a strategy to increase the exports up to 200 billion pounds.
Yes.
At that time, the dollar was 5.40 or something like that, which means about $38 billion. And now we are just talking after almost 8 years that how to reach 20 or $22 billion. So you can see that even with the decrease of the value of the dollar, it was not helping exports to increase a lot, because it's not only the value. The stability is very important.
Of course.
And at that time we were stable. At 2008, I think for 2-3 years before 2006-07, the rate was stable. Even there was only one piaster is different. So everybody was really moving in this way. That's why we just want to take out the idea that exporters was a reason for that, or importers was a reason for that. No, the stability is the best. The stable rate is the best environment for both wings of the trade, imports and exports, to move easily, and the prices it's just demand and supply for all commodities at that time. We hope we can come to this point very soon. I hope within 2 months.
Hopefully not just like a very strong fluctuation.
The stability was not because of import and export. The stability because of the situation in the whole country. The tourism at that time was very high. The oil prices also was high. So all these made availability of the foreign currency. The availability made stability. This is what was in 2007, 2008 until 2011. But during the past 6 or 5 years, Egypt,
especially through big turmoil, and then
yes, there was a big turmoil, and all this affected.
Is a step
of course,
to come to the stability.
Of course,
what is this liberation of floating? Like there's some say floating of the pound, some say liberation of the pound. Are they the same, equal here, or different?
The
liberation of floating.
Liberation is a different thing. Okay, liberation.
Some use floating, some use liberation.
Liberation of floating is almost the same. But I'm talking now to make one price in the bank and exchange bureaus. Of course, will encourage investors to come.
Yes.
And we have, beside the decisions which has been taken, we have to set a plan for investors who are willing to come to Egypt. We don't give them the freedom to invest in any, for example, if they are going to invest in industry, we don't give them the freedom to make any product.
Yes.
We must give them a plan of what we need to produce, what we need to manufacture.
Yes.
And we have, of course, to consider in our factories or industry which we are aiming to build, we have to concentrate on the industries which replace the imported goods, to produce products to replace the products which we are importing.
This is what we will,
of course,
leading us to talk about
the plan. We must have a plan and a strategy.
Exactly. How do you see the step leading in the future? Because we have 1 minute left.
Yeah, we have to talk about the civil service law.
Yes.
It's very important for the environment, and also the investment law.
Okay.
And as much as we can give to investors easy departure way, they will come, because all the countries can easily try to attract investors to come by decreasing taxes or by giving free lands or whatever. But the point now, because all the funds all over the world now are floating, we cannot say that our currency is floating. We can say that it was liberated. But floating funds, which is the real meaning of the capitals all over the world, are just trying to find the area which they can invest and they can easily depart.
Yes.
So as much as our investment law will give this facility to investors, they will come.
Dr. Mustafa Nagari, thank you very much for being with us. And Dr. Mustafa Sheikh, thank you very much for being with us.
Pleasure.
We'll see you again, just to see what happened.
Sure.
And hopefully, good things, will
Let
come.
us be optimistic. And everything
Exactly.
will be fine.
And everybody will be happy one way or the other. So as we always end, we say, God bless our Egypt, God bless our Egyptian people, God bless our Egyptian army and our president, and God bless the world, of course. I'm Nermin Nazim signing off, leaving you with the latest on the stock market. Goodbye for now. We'll see you again next week.
The Egyptian Supreme Council of Investment has taken some crucial decisions on its first meeting. The Investment Council, which is chaired by the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, took 17 decisions regarding exempting new industrial and agricultural investments in Upper Egypt from taxes for 5 years. The same exemption has also been granted to new projects that manufacture strategic commodities and produce currently imported from abroad. Ali Musalhi, the head of the Economic Committee in the Egyptian Parliament, said that offering some land plots at the new administrative capital and other new cities with a 25% discount represent an attractive investment. Meanwhile, Sharif Sami, the chairman of the Egyptian Financial Supervisory Authority, believes that these important decisions come in the right time to tackle crucial issues, and it shall have positive impacts on the investment atmosphere. He also stressed the importance of the cooperation between the government and the private sector in achieving the national infrastructure mega projects. The Egyptian exchange indices raised part of its early gains. The benchmark index EGX30 went up 3.35% or 285.85 points to close at 8,810.51 points on the gains of the leading stocks. The market capitalization gained 11.47 billion Egyptian pounds, reaching 428.7 billions. Tourism experts expect that Germans will rank first place for the most tourists visiting Egypt in winter, followed by Ukraine. The Tourism Activation Authority implemented an advertising campaign in the German market at the cost of $5 million presented in television, outdoor, and radio advertisements. Henny Shukri, executive chairperson at the award-winning marketing company J. Walter Thompson Cairo, explained that Italy is currently another promising country, followed by Ukraine, Poland, the Czech Republic. There is large growth in these markets. He pointed out that the company managed to redirect inbound tourism from the UK to Luxor and Aswan, and the British government's ban on direct flights to Sharm el-Sheikh is still in place. The Central Bank of Egypt has decided to liberalize the exchange rate system to control any manipulation in the local currency market. The Egyptian pound exchange rate against rather foreign currencies will be thus decided according to the market's supply and demand mechanisms. The US dollar exchange rate against the Egyptian pound was placed at 13.01 Egyptian pounds per dollar for selling and 13.5 per dollar for buying. The bank stated that there were no limits on the deposit or withdrawal of foreign currencies, confirming no change in their ceilings for import firms. Egypt's state-owned National Bank of Egypt, Bank Masr and Banque du Caire decided to issue EGP-dominated certificates of deposits with an interest rate of 16% and 20%. Mohammed Al-Itribi, chairperson of Bank Masr, said the banks will offer 1.5-year certificates at 20% due after 3 months and 3 certificates at 16% due to every month. The central bank decided to raise interest rates by 300 basis points. A move came after the bank liberalized the Egyptian pounds. The International Monetary Fund has welcomed Egypt's decision to liberalize its pound currency, adding that the decision would boost competitiveness and attract foreign investment. IMF Mission Chief for Egypt, Chris Jarvis, said that they welcome the Central Bank of Egypt's decision to liberalize the foreign exchange system and adopt a flexible exchange rate regime. Jarvis added that this will make more foreign exchange available. Flexible exchange rate regime, where the exchange rate is determined by market forces, will improve Egypt's external competitiveness, support exports and tourism, and attract foreign investment. The Dubai financial market saw a negative performance in the week ended the 3rd of November, weighed down by the decline of banks, real estate and telecom stocks. The main index fell 0.6% or 20 points to reach 3,298.43 points. Turnover grew to AED 1.31 billion this week compared to 1.22 billion last week. Petrol and diesel prices rose sharply in October, taking them to their highest level since July 2015. The RAC said the higher prices were due to a combination of rising crude oil prices and the devaluation of the pound after June's Brexit vote. Average petrol prices rose by 4.4 pound to 116.7 pound per liter, and average diesel prices rose 5.2 to 118 per liter. The Bank of England has made a dramatic rise to its inflation forecast for next year, predicting that the rate will almost triple. The bank now expects inflation to hit 2.7% next year, up from the current rate of 1%. It also increased its prediction for economic growth from 0.8% to 1.4% for next year, but cut the 2018 forecast from 1.8% to 1.5%. The bank does not expect inflation to return to its 2% target until 2020. The latest U.S. presidential election news is making the world's financial markets nervous. Opinion polls that show Donald Trump's numbers improving hit share prices and the value of the dollar again on Wednesday. European stock markets followed Wall Street's example, suffering their 8th straight day of losses. As investors sold shares and the dollar, they moved the money into so-called safe havens, government bonds, the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen, as well as gold, which rose to its highest level in a month. The number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits rose to a near 3-month high last week, but remained below a level associated with a strong labor market. Initial claims for state unemployment benefits increased 7,000 seasonally adjusted to 165,000 for the week ended 29th of October, the highest level since early August. The Labor Department said the 87th consecutive week that claims remained below 300,000, a threshold associated with a healthy labor market. Gold futures climbed as growing uncertainty surrounding the U.S. presidential election, as well as weakness in the U.S. dollar and equities, lifted the metal to its highest finish in a month. Gold for December delivery, GCZ6 50% rose 20.2 US dollars or 1.6% to settle at 1,308.2 an ounce. It hadn't topped 1,300 US dollars or settled at a level this high since the 3rd of October, according to the FactSet data. 5 years ago, Mario Draghi took charge of an ailing Eurozone economy by taking over as the president of the European Central Bank. 5 years on, the crisis is somewhat under control, and analysts have cheered the Italian economist for his reforms and bond-buying programs. Nonetheless, with ultra-low interest rates and unemployment at stubbornly high levels, investors are constantly speculating as to when the economy will start to normalize.